Hello everyone, welcome to the Geekdom, the place where we outcasts come to talk about the things we love, and welcome to another episode of Trooper Tuesday here on the Geekdom channel, where we go through every episode of the Clone Wars and we make every clone that we can see on screen. And today, we've got some heavy hitters. We've got some very heavy hitters. We've got Rex and Cody, arguably the main clones from the Clone Wars, and my personal favourite, Captain Rex. Love him so much. Such a pleasure to finally make these figures. It has been like over 10 years since we've had a Phase 1 Rex and Cody minifigure, so such a pleasure to make these guys. We're going to jump right in with Captain Rex. Now, with this Captain Rex minifigure, I really wanted to lean into that sort of classic look that the Clone Wars minifigures used to give us, so I've used a few elements from classic Clone Wars. We're going to start from top to bottom like I always do, starting with the helmet. Now, the helmet is it was such a pleasure to make. I love Captain Rex's Phase 1 helmet. I think it might be my favourite Phase 1 helmet. I think it just looks so cool with the J guys up top. But I wanted to differentiate it a little bit from the one that LEGO gave us. Now, the one that LEGO gave us was very clean cut. It was very, it's just got the visor, it's just got the markings, there's no battle damage at all. But for these guys, I wanted to give both of these clones as much battle damage as possible to make them look weathered just like they do in the show. So obviously all around this guy's helmet, he's got a bunch of scrapes and scratches, bits of dirt on the white portions of his helmet in a darker grey, and then across his visor we've got little notches cut in like a white as well, just to make the paint look a lot more faded, make it look like there's a real battle war. Up top, as I said, he has got his J-Guys symbol, which I believe is Mandalorian. I believe that's a Mandalorian symbol. I know that Kanan Jarrus has it on his mask later on in Rebels. The visor itself is in that classic Clone Wars minifigure shape. I didn't want to change that. As I said, I wanted to pay homage to those classic minifigures that I grew up with when I was younger, so I did that with all of my clones. He does have a helmet accessory, which is the rangefinder piece. It is ever so slightly different, which I've done in a few of my figures. I've just made it shorter, thinner, made it look a little bit more realistic, so that, because you always think that the ones on the clones, they go like way too high above their heads, it just looks a bit goofy, so I've tried to make it look a little bit more accurate relative to the helmet itself. Moving down, we've got a printed shoulder armor. I love this. It took a lot of work to figure it out properly, but I really dig the way this turned out. It is the classic mold for the armor piece that we used to get on Clone Wars minifigures. I don't know why they stopped giving us this. I do think it looks so much better than the cloth cameras we've been getting recently. Obviously, it's just that same piece, but it's printed this time. Obviously, it's got all those like grey panel sections over the base of the black plastic. And then on his left shoulder, we've got those blue portions as well. It's just symbolization of his allegiance to the 501st Legion and Anakin Skywalker. Underneath that, we've got just a basic clone torso like I use on all my figures. I did add a bit of weathering. I'm not sure how much you can see. There's a bit on his ab section and stuff. A lot of it is obviously covered up by his like shoulder armor. But I just wanted to not give him a super boring torso. So he has got unique torso printing. I'm just not sure how well it's picking up on these renders. The arms themselves are really cool. They're very similar to my other 501st arms, but I have just weathered the crap out of them. Just like the helmet, we've got those darker grey portions on the white sections of his armor, as well as those white notches cut into the blue. Obviously, Rex is leader of the 501st. He's seen every form of battle. Honestly, Anakin, he's always sending him into these crazy situations without a plan, and Rex has obviously seen a lot of the Clone War, so his armor is nice and weathered. I've never done weathered clones before, but I've got a feeling I'm going to start doing it a lot more because it was so fun to do on these guys. Moving down, obviously, cloth waist capes. We will never have any printed waist capes here on the Geekdom channel. None of that. Always go cloth because it looks so much better. And just like my other cloth waist capes, this obviously has printing. Now, obviously, around the hem, it's just like a blue line. Obviously, 501st, pretty standard. Just like my 5s minifigure, he also has holsters on either side printed on, because obviously Rex has his like pistol holsters on either side of his camera. So I've just printed those on. It's just a pretty standard white holster shape that they have in the show. I did consider like printing like a pistol on it, but I was like, nah, because if you have Rex pistols as like an accessory, it works a lot better. Legs wise, very basic, which I didn't really realize. I was looking at a bunch of images of Phase 1 Captain Rex. I wasn't really sure what his leg armor looks like, because obviously he's wearing his cloth cape around them all the time. But it's basically standard white clone armor with blue knee pads. So I just did that to start with, and then once again I just weathered the crap out of it. I put a bunch of like scratch marks in like a grey over the blue this time instead of white to make it look a bit more like carbon scoring instead of just like paint scratching off. Also, they're going to be kneeling down a lot, so there's got to be a lot of weathering there on those kneecaps. They also just have random bits of dirt and grime and weathering all over the side of the legs as well. Obviously wraparound printing, as I always do on these minifigures. And yeah, that is Captain Rex, one of the coolest clones of all time. And I think this is a definite upgrade from the original Captain Rex minifigure. Next up is, I think it's the best clone minifigure I've ever done in all of my Trooper Tuesdays, in all of my minifigure series, and that is Phase 1 Commander Cody. Now, everyone loves Commander Cody. I personally think he's a little bit overrated. Okay, he's still very cool, but I don't think he deserves to be the #1 clone, you know what I mean? But I've got to say, this minifigure looks stunning. We're going to go head to toe, once again, with a fully custom molded helmet. Now, we start off with the base clone mold, and we'll talk about the printing on that first. We've obviously got the red tail fin that goes up to the top of the head, and obviously on his little chin section he's got that sort of jagged star pattern around that sort of grey section on the bottom there. And also, just like Rex, his helmet is covered in weathering, just a lot of grey scratches and stuff. Obviously he sees a lot of battle as well, leader of the 212 and stuff. But the custom molds on this figure are quite interesting. Now, Cody, for one, has an antenna on the right-hand side of his helmet. So to create that, what I did was I got the Lego wand piece, I messed about with it a little bit, scale and stuff, and then I got rid of bits at the bottom and stuff, and I merged it with the helmet to create that antenna molded in. Now, all of the details on Cody's helmet are molded. For example, the visor piece, which is usually an accessory that plugs into a clone, I have molded in here, because Cody never moves that. It's just like a sun visor for his helmet. So I've decided to mold that in, and also on top of that we've got a brand new custom piece because it has this little, I don't even know what that is. It's like a rangefinder, like a laser pointer thing that Cody has on the top of his viewfinder. All of it is molded on, none of the pieces move, but honestly I think it looks so much better. The visor is actually smaller, it's shorter, thinner, it's a different shape entirely from the actual Lego accessory. I wanted it molded on, I wanted it to look as accurate as possible to Cody, and I think this looks brilliant. Moving down to the torso, I love it. I love it so much. The weathering on it was just, oh, it's just, yes, it looks so good. Obviously he's got up top those little orange shoulder portions there where it connects to the back of his armor. He's got that little 3-pronged thing going down his chest, which is obviously all weathered as well, but it's in that really nice 212 orange. And then on the belt section, he's got 2 of his pouches in that lovely orange as well, with a darker orange to create the outlines and details. It just looks so cool. I don't often do like orange minifigures and stuff, so I think it's kind of cool to play with a new palette and stuff. And the same goes for the arms. Now the arms are just weathered to buggery, right? I've put scratches and dirt marks all over them. There's probably more weathering on there than there is actual armor. On Cody's left arm, he has like that little antenna thing going off to the side, and then it's all just kind of basic clone armor as well. He's got orange elbow pads just like he does in the show, and once again it's entirely weathered up. Hips wise, it's just a plain white, nothing too special there, but the legs are just absolutely chock full of printing. Obviously we've got those diagonal orange lines that have there on both Phase 1 and Phase 2 Cody. And then, just like Rex, the only other discernible part of his leg armor is his kneecaps in that 212 orange. Once again, wraparound printing, plenty of weathering. This guy looks amazing. Lego, can we please get more Phase 1, Rex, Cody, all of the icons. And finally, as I always do in these Trooper Tuesdays, we've got a really cool render here of Rex and Cody on the Rishi Moon base from Episode 5, Rookies, the episode which this Trooper Tuesday is for. Obviously next week we're going to do Echo, Fives, Heavy, all of the main characters from the Rishi base episode. But yeah, this is such a cool shot, possibly my favourite one I've done so far. I really like it. I love all the lights and the lighting effects. As per, all of these renders and stuff get put on the Geekdom Instagram, which is in the description below, so go give that a follow while you're there. Well, anyway, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. If you have, feel free to like and subscribe down below. It does go a long way. While you're down there, tell me what your favourite clones are. Maybe I'll make them in the future. But anyway, everyone, thank you very much for watching, and may the Force be with you, always.